All right, so a week ago, I posted in the community that I'm thinking of doing a Q&A video, and I told you guys to pretty much ask me anything. So this is going to be that video. I have some time now, so I'm going to kind of just go over every single comment and answer it for you guys. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm going to take the time now to do that. So there's 34 comments. So yeah, this might be a long video. All right, so what do you use to make contracts? What's it called? I use a website called Signwell. It's signwell.com. How do you upload that contract to Upwork? I don't. Do not upload or do not send contracts to clients on Upwork. How are you charging per month a client on Upwork? As with the fixed cost project, the funds only releases after the client approves the work. How to get paid in advance through Upwork? What does that mean? How to get paid in advance through Upwork? You don't get paid in advance through Upwork. Like you said, you only get paid once the client releases the funds to you, and you have to either request it or ask the client to release those funds. I don't get paid in advance. It might be kind of corny, but what is the general mindset we need to have to cut off distractions and succeed consistently? It's not corny. Good question. I think you said it, but you have to be consistent. There's going to be days when you don't feel like working, when you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do, and you just got to do it. How do you do it? How do you get to that mindset where you cut off distractions? I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can answer that for you. Like I still get distracted sometimes, and I still struggle with inconsistencies myself. So I don't think even I'm at that mindset yet. So I don't know. It's just, I guess you have to want it so bad that nothing else matters. It's kind of like a priority thing. Like if your priority is doing this, then everything below it, naturally you just kind of brush it off. You might spend some time here and there, but naturally you just kind of go back to your number one priority. So I guess, how do you get to a mindset where you're being productive is to make sure you have your priorities in check. I think that would be my answer to that question. Does Upwork work outside of US, specifically in the Southeast Asia region? Yes, I think there are certain countries that Upwork is not at, but I'm pretty sure you're not in those countries. So yes, Upwork is available pretty much all over the world. Love you, Thomas. Thank you. How to get started in development niche with no experience but skills from India. The US remote dev market is decent, unlike India. Just need 1 to 2K from clients per month for a start. Will I be able to earn this as a beginner? Currently in, I'm gonna assume that says college. Yes, you can earn money while living in India on Upwork. I think, I'm pretty sure like US is first, but second is India when it comes to the most, or the countries where freelancers make the most amount of money on Upwork. I think the US is first, yes, but I'm pretty sure India is second, and it might be Philippines third. Not too sure on that, but yes, definitely possible. I am about to complete my portfolio project, an app that lets users generate websites from text. What should my strategy be for Upwork? Should I start low and slow, crank it up, or stick with a reasonable price according to my country? Start low and slow. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you mean. So when I first started, I kind of had the same mindset as well. Like I was pricing myself on the low end. I priced myself at $15 an hour, which for my location and for where I was at, it was on the lower end. And I did that so that I thought that would allow me to get hired quicker. And maybe it did. And my plan was to kind of start low, and then once I start building experience, I can increase my rates. But I kept that rate for an entire year because it worked for me. So starting low and slow, I guess, yes, I would recommend doing it. You might hear otherwise, but for me, it worked, and that's what I did. So it'd be kind of hypocritical for me to say, start at $30 an hour or whatever. And I think, yes, you should stick with a reasonable price. As an agency, how do you find the right talents and contractors? Good question. So I put my freelancers through an extensive, or my contractors through an extensive interview phase, where I'm just kind of asking them a bunch of questions, putting them through as many tests as I need to kind of qualify them to be a part of my team. But mainly, it just consists of like, how available are you? Obviously, what does your work look like? Can you send me some examples? How fluent are you in English? Obviously, the price as well. But I pretty much just ask them as many questions as I can to get myself comfortable enough to say, okay, this guy is qualified to be a part of my team. How many of your clients are US based versus outside the US? I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I would say the majority of my clients are US based. If I had to guess, it would probably be like 80-20, like 80% US based and then 20% outside the US. Do you have something that triggers focus, or has it become a natural state when you so desire? I don't know. It's just when I work, I work. I make sure that I cut off all distractions and I just focus on work. If I get to a point where I feel like I can't really focus as much, that's when I know that I need to take a break. So that's when I take a break. If I'm working, I'm working. I don't like half working. I don't like working and having like, videos playing in the background, or, kind of working and then, going on my phone. If I find myself or catch myself kind of getting lazy or going on my phone and not really focusing, then I literally stop myself, turn away from the computer, and take a full break. I'd rather take a full break and then come back actually focused than to like take half breaks or partial breaks and then kind of also work partially or work halfway. I'd rather, while I'm working, I'd rather work 100%. If I'm not at 100%, I take a break until I can get to 100%. Do you do you believe that penguins can fly and want to take over the world? Do you believe that penguins can fly? No. Do I believe that penguins want to take over the world? Yeah, why not? I would assume they would if they had the choice. How much does the neighborhood you live in affect your work and workflow? The neighborhood I live in, nothing much. I don't. Maybe I'm not understanding your question, but neighborhood, probably nothing. I mean, there has been times where like I have a neighbor whose dog barks a lot, like throughout the day, and that's like the one kind of pet peeve with my neighborhood. I love my neighborhood. It's just that one neighbor who has a dog and just keeps barking. So sometimes while I work, like I hear the dog barking. But other than that, maybe I feel like I misunderstood your question, but my neighborhood doesn't really affect how I work. If I lived in a different neighborhood, I'd still be working the same. At what earnings on your profile did you start getting invites and job offers? And at what earnings were these invites and job offers becoming consistent? I think I was getting invites even like when I was not earning that much, like under 1,000. When I had under 1,000 on my profile, I think I was still getting an invite, like here and there. It wasn't a lot, it wasn't consistent, but I was still getting some invites. And then I think when it started becoming consistent was probably after 10K ish, 20K maybe. Hi, my question is it still possible to have amazing clients on Upwork as a beginner who created her account 2 years ago but never got any clients so far? This is year 3 as a VA for social media managers. As a beginner. How are you a beginner if you've... Okay, so you created your account, but what, you never used it, you never did outreach? You've been on Upwork for 3 years and you're a beginner and you have no clients. If you've been using Upwork for 3 years and you've actually been consistently doing outreach, and you have no clients, then that's a problem. That's a big problem, and you need to fix up something really fast. But I'm gonna assume that you just mean that you created your account, but you never actually kind of got started with it. If that's the case, then it doesn't matter. It's pretty much a brand new account. You haven't really done anything with it. It doesn't matter when you created it. It's not going to affect, your ability to get clients. What's a sincere way to write a proposal as a new data analyst with only practice portfolio experience while being decent at it but not an expert? Or said differently, what's the best way to write a proposal for entry-level roles with little experience while sounding reliable? Okay, so there's two ways that I would kind of go about this if I was in your position. If you're struggling to write a reliable proposal because you feel that you have no experience, two things you can do. One, get experience, build experience until you are reliable enough to write your proposals confidently. That's the one. That's number one. Number two, see how other freelancers are writing their proposals. What you can do is literally go to your client profile, post a job, and get freelancers to apply to your job. Check out how these professionals, these actual reliable people with experience, are writing their proposals. It should give you an idea of how you can write yours. How to write an effective proposal on Upwork. What are the do's and don'ts? I could literally make an entire video on this, and I think I already did, so you can watch that. But it's just no grammatical errors, no spelling mistakes. I said this before in one of my videos, and someone was like, you're talking to like the 1%, like rarely anybody makes spelling mistakes or grammatical errors when sending their cover letters. And I was like, you're so wrong. You cannot be more wrong. There's so many people on Upwork that I see they just can't, they lowercase their I's, they're just unprofessional, they have awkward phrasing, and like if you ask them like why you do this, because I had people like when I was first doing YouTube, and a lot of people were reaching out to me, they'd be like, Thomas, I'm struggling with Upwork, I can't get clients. And I went, okay, just send me your cover letter, send me a screenshot of the job descriptions that you applied for, send me them, and then I'll take a look and let you know what you're doing wrong. So, and then they sent it to me, and it's just like really bad. Like not really bad in like the value that they offer, just really bad in like they can't spell, they have grammatical errors, like, and that's pretty much it. And then I call them out on it, and then I say, this is why you're not getting hired. And they go, no, there's nothing I could do about this. English isn't my first language. This is not having grammatical errors and spelling mistakes. That's not a English isn't your first language issue. That's a laziness issue, because all you have to do is take your proposal, copy it, and then paste it onto any spell check website that you can find for free. Grammarly is one that I used. You can post it on ChatGPT if you want and say, hey, ChatGPT, take this proposal and fix any grammatical errors or spelling mistakes or awkward phrasings for me. And then it'll do it for you. 10 seconds, 15 seconds max. That's not English isn't my first language issue. So what are the don'ts? I'll give you one do and one don't. One don't is don't have any errors or spelling mistakes. And then one do is try to keep your proposal centered around the client's job description. Do not spend a bunch of time talking about your background, your history, what you do. Honestly, the client doesn't care. The client doesn't have time to read all that. Get straight to the point. Look through the job description and talk about the actual job. Right? A lot of people just forget to do the absolute basics, and that's really the key to getting hired, is to just stick to the basics, keep it simple, give the client what they want. I always make personalized cover letters and they get open, but I don't get answers back. How many cover letters did you send? How many proposals did you send? Is it in the hundreds? Because I'm going to assume it's not, but that's what it takes. So there's your answer. If they're getting open, I'm gonna assume that you're not really doing much wrong. Maybe you can try wording your offer statement differently. Maybe your profile is good, maybe your intro is good, but maybe your offer isn't that great. But I'm gonna assume that that's not really the issue. The issue is you're not doing enough outreach. It should be in the hundreds. If I have multiple skill sets, example, web designer, animator, illustrator, graphic artist, etc., and I can work in all of these concurrently, how to set up specialized profiles on Upwork for each skill set. Note that Upwork TNC, what is that? What's TNC? Is that terms of service? But it should be TNS. What's TNC? Oh, terms and conditions. Okay. Only permit creation of one freelancer account with one generalized profile, and two, Specialized profiles. Yes, you are correct that on Upwork you can only have one freelancer account with one generalized profile and two specialized profiles. You are correct. So if you have multiple skill sets, what you should do is pick one. Pick one and then stick with it. Pick a category and then pick two subcategories for that main category and then stick with it. You can change these at any time, but I recommend you just stick with it. You can't offer more than one specialized. You can't have more than one specialized or generalized profile and more than two specialized profile. And even if you could, honestly, I wouldn't really recommend doing it. As a client, I would rather hire someone who's a professional and an expert at one thing than someone who's just quote unquote good at everything. All right, I'm trying to hire a specialized expert. I'm not trying to hire someone who can offer email marketing, graphic design, video editing, social media marketing, social media management, content creation, web development, copywriting, all of these, services. I'm not trying to look for all of that. I'm trying to look for someone who can offer one thing and be an expert in that. And then I'll hire someone else to do, the other thing. How do you best outreach with no portfolio? Where do you find people to deliver the work? When does it feel safe to quit your job? Okay, so you asked 3 questions. How do you best outreach with no portfolio? I don't. I never did outreach without a portfolio. I created my portfolio first and then I did outreach. So if you don't have a portfolio and you're looking to do outreach, I highly recommend against it. Create your portfolio first and then do the outreach. Where do you find people to deliver the work? Upwork. When does it feel safe to quit your job? To be honest, I don't feel comfortable answering this question. I don't want to give you a time frame and then have people quit their stable incomes because of me. I don't recommend you quit your job at all, unless you are in a comfortable position where you're making consistent streams of income to kind of supplement or to kind of replace that job. But for me, I didn't have a job to even quit. To start off, I was doing gig work and I was doing part-time jobs and kind of just building up capital. I was doing a bunch of part-time jobs until COVID hit, and then we got laid off. There was a big layoff thing. We got laid off for COVID, and then during COVID, I was doing a bunch of gig work like Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and just constantly building up capital, trying to make as much or save up as much as I can. And then I found out about Upwork, and I pretty much just went all in. Have you tried Facebook ads SMMA? No, I have never ran a Facebook ads agency. It's crazy though, because when I first started my content creation agency, I was going to transition. So I was going to start off with my content creation agency, and my plan was to start with this and then transition into a Facebook ads agency. The reason why I started with this was because, the content creation niche was a lot easier. A convenience offer is a lot easier to deliver than an opportunity offer. But an opportunity offer makes more money. So my plan was to just start off with this, make a couple bucks, earn some income, consistently, a couple $1,000 maybe, and then use that money to kind of transition into Facebook ads or a Facebook ads agency. That was actually my plan starting out. And it's now been, about about a year and 2 to 3 months. And I'm still running my content creation agency, and I have no plans to ever transition into an ads or an advertising agency. I found something that works for me. So for me, it's just I have no reason to kind of switch business models. Do you work on Fiverr? Also, can you upload Fiverr tips, send tricks series? No, I don't work on Fiverr. I've never done Fiverr. So I can't give you any Fiverr tips and tricks. I don't know any Fiverr tips and tricks. I use Upwork and Upwork only. I've never worked on Fiverr. How do you start as a no experience guy who is looking for a job? Are you talking about on Upwork, or are you talking in general? Well, if you don't have experience, it's going to be really hard. So you should go out and build experience and learn as much as you can. Where are you from? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, just a little curious. I don't mind. I am from Southern California. I was born here and I've lived here ever since. How did you make 40K a year on Upwork? I'm on Upwork for now 6 months and I only earned around 2K. I'm a software engineer. What do you think? How did I make 40K a year on Upwork in a year on Upwork? I made a lot more than 40K in a year on Upwork. But to answer your question, I pretty much did a bunch of outreach, signed a bunch of clients. It was a rough journey. I wasn't really making that much money consistently until month 3, 4, 5. But once I actually started getting the ball rolling, it was a lot easier to sign clients. And I was signing clients a lot more frequently. I have created an Upwork profile using your videos, but haven't received connects. Oh, haven't received connects. Like, you mean the free connects that Upwork gives for new accounts? If that's the case, then I recommend you reach out to Upwork support. They should give you an answer for that. How old are you and how much did you have to invest by connects to earn so much money? How old am I? I am 25. And then how much did I invest to earn a lot of money? I don't know. I actually tried checking this because I wanted to, put it in one of my videos. Like, this is how much connects that I've bought on Upwork throughout my entire Upwork career. But apparently Upwork doesn't show transactions for connects before 90 days. So 90 days is like the limit of, the history of the transactions that I can view. I can't view the transaction history of connects that I bought more than 90 days ago, which sucks. I don't know why Upwork does that. So yeah, I don't know how much connects I had to invest. I wish I could tell you, but it wasn't that much. I think in the beginning, I was doing a lot of outreach. In the beginning, I was doing a lot more outreach than I, started to do later on. The more money I earned, the less connects I actually had to buy. It's kind of weird, but it's because my profile started to rank higher and higher. I started to make more and more. So I was getting a lot more invites and DMs, which are free. So I didn't have to apply to as many jobs myself or anymore. Even though now, crazy update, I posted about it in the community, but apparently Upwork is charging now for invites. So every time I, apply to a job that I get invited to, I have to pay connects for it now. So yeah, that's an update. Now, with your knowledges, would you rather sell information courses or keep doing Upwork jobs? I do have my own course, but honestly, I'm spending most of my time on Upwork. My course, I spent a lot of time creating it, but it was just like a one-time thing. Like, I created it once and, there's not really much that I do with it. I do update it and I do upload new videos when I do come up with new things to it, but it doesn't take as much time of my time anymore since I already created it. I'm still spending the majority of my time doing Upwork, but I do spend a lot of time on the Discord though, so I guess that's a thing. But I'm still doing Upwork. Why you don't like crypto? Full story. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm just gonna try to make it short. The reason why I don't like crypto is because a while ago when I was younger, when the first craze of Bitcoin was like spreading through the media, Bitcoin at the time was at like $7,000, $8,000, and everybody was going crazy about it. Everybody was talking about it, so I looked into it, and long story short, I just invested my entire savings into it. It was around $2,000 at the time. And like, it was my first time investing into crypto, into stocks, investing money into anything, pretty much. But to me, it was everything I had. I invested it into this thing because everyone was talking about it, saying it's going to be the next currency, like it's going to replace the US dollar. And I bought into it and I invested into it, and I watched Bitcoin over the years. And I would spend every day, as soon as I wake up, I would check my phone, check this market, read through different forums, read through Reddit. Like, if you type Bitcoin Reddit, like, I was like subscribed to that page. There was not a post on that Bitcoin Reddit or there was not a comment or a post that I did not see on that Bitcoin Reddit. That's how addicted I was. But anyways, but I would pretty much spend like my entire life centered around this Bitcoin market. And then I watched it go from 7,000 to 18,000. And when it got to 18,000, I got all cocky. I thought I was better than everybody. I was like, oh, I'm rich. I'm so smart for investing all this money. And then a couple years go by, and then Bitcoin starts to crash, and it goes all the way down to 3,000. And I check my phone. I see Bitcoin at 3,000. I'm panicking. So I go, okay, let me just take out. Bitcoin's about to go to zero. Let me just take out my money while I still can. I took out like $400 ish from my initial $2,000 investment. Took out all the money, and I was like, okay, this is at least I get my 400 back. At least I learned something. This is a life lesson. Don't invest in crypto. Don't listen to the media. No stocks, no crypto. I'm done with it. And then another couple years go by, and I'm having dinner with some of my friends, and we're talking, and the subject of crypto comes up, or the subject of Bitcoin comes up, and they go, bro, have you seen the price of Bitcoin? And they show me the phone. I take the phone, I look at it, it's at $69,000. I still remember the number. It was at $69,100 something dollars. And I was just looking at it. And that kind of just like sealed it for me. I was like, okay, stocks is not for me. Crypto is not for me. Investing is not for me. I bought Bitcoin at 7,000, watched it go to 18,000, didn't do anything, and then waited and held and sold it when it crashed to 3,000. And then from 3,000, it jumped to 69,000. I was like, okay. So yeah, that's my story. That's pretty much why I don't like crypto. That's around like 90% of the reason why I don't like crypto. The remaining 10% is because like I still don't even know what it is, what it's used for. So yeah. How did you make the shift from being addicted to video games, etc., to becoming addicted to finding other streams of income? What steps did you take? What to do when it's hard? How did you make the shift from being addicted to video games, etc., to being addicted to finding other streams of income? Honestly, it's just, I think I said it before, but I don't know. I feel like all it took was me to just say that I'm tired of it. I want to make money. And it's just, like I said before, it's like a priority thing. So if your priority is video games, then you're going to play video games more than you're going to spend more time playing video games than you are going to spend time trying to make money, right? So if you catch yourself playing more video games than you are, trying to make money, then it's because your priority is, it's your priority level. So you have to find a way to change your priorities, make your priority the money, and put video games kind of second or lower. Then naturally, you'll just want to not play video games anymore because you could be spending that time making money. All right, and what to do when it's hard? To be honest, I don't want to sound harsh, but you deal with it. There's not really much that you can do. If it's hard, you deal with it. If you don't deal with it, then you're not going to make money. It's you either deal with it and you make money, or you don't deal with it and you don't make money. It's your choice. The only other option is to deal with it. There's not really much you can do to prevent it from happening. It's going to get hard. It's supposed to be hard. You deal with it. Can you please mentor me through starting and scaling through my freelance journey? Yes, you can check out the Discord. There's a premium one where you can reach out to me directly and I can mentor you. Can you make 10K a month on Upwork as a video editor, just editing videos? Can you? Yes. Is it going to be extremely, extremely hard? Yes. But can you? Yeah, you can. Why don't you have thumbnail photos in your videos? Are you hiring people? If yes, what field? Is it possible to make a website like Upwork and profit from it? How? Okay, why don't you have thumbnail photos in your videos? So I actually don't really care about thumbnails. Like even my videos, like I don't really care about you. Like you see my video edits, I don't have some crazy B-roll footages. My thumbnails aren't these these typical trendy thumbnails that are photoshopped or edited. And to a degree it is sort of on purpose, where it's like I don't really want to follow the trend of these super crazy edited thumbnails. I just want to be like a natural, honest YouTuber. So there is a part of me that's that, but honestly, it's like that's like 10%. 90% is because I'm too lazy. And YouTube, like when you upload a video on YouTube, as soon as you upload the video, YouTube actually has a section where they give you three like recommended thumbnails that the AI from YouTube just takes from the video. They take screenshots from random parts in the video. And then they give you three recommendations for your thumbnails, for your thumbnail for that video. And typically what I do is I literally just pick, one of those options. That's how I come up with my thumbnails. That's how lazy I am when it comes to creating my thumbnails. I don't even create them. I just pick what YouTube creates them. Occasionally I will make a small little edit where I include like an image or like a text or whatever, and I just use Canva for that. But it never takes me more than 2 to 3 minutes to create a thumbnail. I never spent more than 2 minutes creating a thumbnail. Are you hiring people? No, I am not hiring people to edit my videos or create thumbnails for me. Is it possible to make a website like Upwork and profit from it? How? Is it possible to make a website like Upwork? Like you want to create a freelancing platform like Upwork? Is it possible? I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know how to build websites, but I'm going to assume that it's not easy. And honestly, I would not recommend competing against a platform like Upwork. And there's other websites like Fiverr as well. Maybe I feel like I also misunderstood this question as well. But if I'm reading it correctly, you're saying you want to make a company like Upwork and compete with Upwork. Is it possible? Maybe, but I don't recommend you do it. I don't think. I mean, unless you have some crazy idea, something that can differentiate you from Upwork and from Fiverr and these other freelancing platforms that are already established. I mean, go for it, I guess. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of the idea. How can I get Upwork client's email address for a cold email? So I talked about this in another video, but you can go on Upwork and in the search bar or in the job search bar, you can type www. And what that'll do is it'll pull up a list of all the jobs on Upwork where it has some sort of website in the job description. And if you go to the website, you click on the website and you go on it, majority of the time, a lot of these company websites have, emails or, social media pages of the business owner or the client. So what you can do is use that to get their emails and then cold DM or cold outreach to them with that. All right, last question. Love from Nepal. Let's assume you have no reviews on your profile. What things do you do to get clients ASAP? With 0 review, freelancer clients don't respond. The cover letter, how could you convince the client to buy your service? Okay, well, it's not true, first of all. You can get clients with 0 reviews. But yeah, you're right. It is harder to get clients with no reviews. If you're struggling to get clients and you think it's because you have no reviews, then your priority should not be getting clients. Your priority should be getting that first review. Your priority should not be, I'm going to sign these super big contracts with these super big clients and make a bunch of money. If you have no reviews, your priority should be, let me get my first review. And you can do so by applying to short-term jobs and asking for a review. Then that'll kind of solve your problem, right? You think it's because you have no reviews. Shift your focus, shift your priority on getting reviews. If you are starting again, what mistake would you want to avoid while working on Upwork? Grammatical errors and spelling mistakes. If clients don't respond to our messages in inbox, how could you send a follow-up message? For me, I send a simple message. Just say, hey, quick follow-up on our previous conversation, and do it once. Do it one time. If they don't respond to that, then move on. Move on to the next client. Do not spam clients with follow-ups. That's the worst thing you can do.